To the contrary, no. The ayes have it. Ms Lauder.
I seek leave to present an exposure draft of the Domestic Animals Dangerous Dogs Legislation Amendment Bill 2018 and make a brief statement in relation to the paper.
Is leave granted? Ms Lauder.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I present an exposure draft of the Domestic Animals Dangerous Dogs Legislation Amendment Bill 2018. So firstly, Madam Speaker, let me quote, "I rise today to address a matter that's becoming a significant concern to Canberrans and about which the government and all members can do something today. I'm not going to talk about theoretical plans, artists' impressions or legislation that may or may not be enacted by other lawmakers in other places, other cities or other countries. I'm going to talk about something that each member here can do to look after the well-being of all Canberrans today. The issue of dangerous dogs, injuries to people from dogs, injuries and death to pets by dogs, and the general fear created by poorly managed dogs is something that is a growing concern in our community. The problem of lack of resources, lack of urgency to address the existing legislation, lack of education of dog owners about their responsibilities and obligations, and an apparent lack of priority for this government concerning dogs has resulted in a problem that is rapidly running out of control." And Madam Speaker, of course, those words I just quoted were the words of my late colleague Steve Dospot from March 2017. Mr Dospot, along with his Canberra Liberals colleagues here, had been formally consulting with a range of stakeholders with different community interests on dog management and dog control for some months. We knew it was a growing problem in Canberra. There were 85 attack investigations in 2012-13, 93 attack investigations in 2013-14, 245 attack investigations in 14-15, 360 attack investigations in 15-16. So in March 2017, Mr Dospot prepared a motion to try to get the government to seriously address what was becoming a major public safety issue, a major animal welfare issue, and a major community concern. He implored Labor and the Greens in this place to support a series of recommendations which included, for example, the following. A. Allocate more resources to investigate serious attacks by dogs. B. Allocate more resources for education about responsibilities of dog ownership. C. Provide better feedback to victims about the progress of complaints about attacks by dogs. D. Review the law that allows dogs that have been found responsible for vicious attacks to be returned to owners. E. Review the law that allows dogs that have been found responsible for vicious attacks resulting in the death of other dogs to be returned to owners. F. Increase penalties imposed on owners where their dog has been found to have been responsible for vicious attacks resulting in serious injury to people and or the death of other animals. So, Madam Speaker, in case those present can't remember what happened with Mr Dospot's motion in March 2017, let me refresh your memories. What happened with Mr Dospot's motion in March 2017? Nothing. The Labor and the Greens removed all of the words of Steve's motion, all of it, and inserted a watered-down version of the words of their own that didn't require the government to do very much at all. At that time, Ms Lakuta said, in her support of the government, "I'm not convinced that even higher penalties will work. I'm reluctant to commit to even higher penalties without substantial community consultation." Now, of all the reasons why we hear the Greens support the government over and over again, I found this very curious. Consultation on increasing fines? Really? When does that happen? Speeding fines? Parking fines? When has there ever been community consultation about increasing these fines? I found it astonishing. Does Ms Lakuta think that the owners of vicious dogs are a special group that deserve to be consulted, unlike owners of cars, for example, with regard to speeding or parking fines? It was just yet another of the disingenuous excuses given to support the government. Again, in support of the government, do-nothing words in that motion, Ms Lakuta said, do we really think that if a dog is mauling another dog, it's going to stop because its owner might end up in jail? Clearly, that is nonsense. We're also concerned that increasing penalties may potentially have a disproportionate impact on low-income families. What is the real-world impact? So this motion, this do-nothing motion, was passed by Labor and the Greens, and, Madam Speaker, we soon saw the real-world impact. We soon saw what happened. In his summing up of that motion, Mr Dospot said, "We were very hopeful that the motion I moved today would be accepted. We accepted the changes in good faith in discussions with your office. We were very happy that we could do something together. I was hopeful that for once we were looking at something not as a partisan issue. We're not trying to make politics out of this. We're simply trying to focus the attention of this government on the needs of the community at the moment." Mr Dospot sadly and prophetically said, and I quote, "What will it take before both lawmakers and pet owners take appropriate action to stop the disturbingly regular occurrences of dogs attacking people and other canines?" Well, as I said, we all know what the real world impact of that failure to act was. We know what happened that actually made the government take action once and for all. It was